definitely one of the most important classes I've taken at UND, just because it provides you with that real-life experience of what it's actually like when you get a job in the real world. A lot of things that I learned in this class are things that I didn't learn in the classroom, but things that I learned from my peers in the class, as we were in a lot of different groups like PR, creative team, CR. So just working with them gave me a real life experience of what it's like to work with different people from different parts of a campaign process. So I think it's just an awesome class to take for anyone at UND, and Dr. Lee is awesome, so I recommend taking it from Dr. Lee or Dr. Kim for sure.
I guess the most thing I've learned is how important a team environment is. All of our teams worked so close together to create such a cool product that it was a really rewarding experience to work with people that were as passionate about different parts of what our future careers are going to be. And it was just a great way to learn more about research, something I didn't know, which was my part. And I really enjoyed the experience. Just thank you for this awesome experience. Like Dr. Lee you created such a cool environment and such a hands-on experience that we wouldn't gain necessarily. And it gave us a glimpse into what our futures could be, and it was really inspiring and just amazing class experience.
I was the associate director for the account planning team, so I did a lot of the research for the campaign. So what I did was I helped make a lot of the surveys. I helped my team brainstorm with surveys, and then I put it together, and then they helped distribute it. And then our second job was to kind of interpret that data and pass it on to the rest of the team, so that they could make decisions on like advertising, message, and a bit of financial decisions as well. I felt like it was good. It was a lot of work and a lot of effort went into it. It was stressful at times, but I think it was a really good experience, and it's already come in handy for job interviews, and I think it's just been a good experience overall.
So this experience is one that you really can't put a price tag on. Getting the opportunity to work with a real client and create an actual advertising campaign while still being a student is something that is just a great and awesome experience. I just want to thank Dr. Lee and Dr. Kim for creating this class design. It's very unique and something that I feel like you don't come across very often. So I know it's a lot of work on their end. So being a student, it's just I'm so appreciative and humbled to have been in a class that gives me this experience, and also to have Dr. Lee as professor. He cares so much about his students, and that just motivates me and everyone else in the class to come to class and to do a great job.
So the post that you're going to see on the left is something that well, I dealt a lot with learning how to organize a giant event like this and delegating parts. So it's been unique to collaborate with other students and figuring out what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, and what I feel most comfortable doing. So it's definitely been a learning experience, to say the least.
We do use our Blues and Brews.
So it was a really good leadership opportunity for me to build a team and build relationships and really create something that we can be proud of with the creative stuff in the campaign book. The class is like an actual ad agency, and it's really neat because you can get that experience without having, like, before you graduate, and I like to point that out when I am in interviews, and like, well, I have this experience and I was the creative director, so I get to have all this leadership experience, and it's been really nice to have like actual answers to interview questions. We're like, where have you led a team, and how did you handle these problems, and do you have like a physical outcome? And I really like having the campaign book.
We also had our flyers as well. We were looking for some flyers. director of the campaign execution group, so a lot of what I did this semester was really communicating back and forth between different groups of people. We had our account planning, our public relations, media strategy, and we also had our creative team. So I worked with each and every one of the teams to coordinate our campaign and then in the end execute it, which was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. There were a lot of speed bumps, but it was a really good experience and I recommend it to anyone. I think this class is a lot of fun, but you have to put in a lot of extra work. There's a lot of time outside of class that you spend brainstorming, communicating with your groups, and ultimately executing the plan. We spent a lot of time during our class hours, but also outside of the time. So I really enjoyed it.
The presentation today was outstanding. Really had high expectations coming in. We know that this class has been working for several years on experiential learning on specific, real, tangible marketing efforts that go everything from the research to the development to the creation to the implementation. Pretty outstanding when you look at the content that goes on, the professionalism that goes on. From somebody who gets to work in the PR field and the media field, communications and events within a community, this is the type of work that I would expect from a professional company, from a team that we would hire out. So I think the presentation was fantastic. I think the quality, everything from the research to the design to the implementation, the methodology. I know I walked away with a couple of trinkets that I'm going to run back to the office and make sure that we capture those, some good findings. And I'm really hoping some of the folks that we're presenting today are going to stick around the community for a little bit, whether they're graduating and staying on, or they're juniors and can be around looking at internships and other experiential learning chances. Pretty impressed, really impressed.
It's really great to see the UND students be able to kind of incorporate their thoughts and actions on any type of event that's going on in town. That's really what the goal is for the downtown development, is to really engage the UND students.
So this senior project is an excellent example of a high impact practice where you take all the semester, actually their whole academic undergraduate career, and you bring all this knowledge together, and then they're actually serving a real client in the community, and this is where the magic happens, right? Excellent faculty, really committed, talented students, a community member, and you bring them all together. I'm so impressed with what the students presented in terms of the campaign to increase awareness and student participation on Blues on the Red. It's really a great example of a high impact practice.